Hello friends and welcome to my today's lecture on Sylvia Plath. Friends, I'm Swati Nalwaya, Associate Professor in English, SPC Government College, Ajmer. You must have viewed my earlier lecture on Sylvia Plath, the American poet. I had mentioned that Sylvia Plath was an American poet, novelist, and a short story writer. She is credited with advancing the genre of confessional poetry and is best known for two of her published collections, The Colossus and The Ariel. I had also mentioned that she had won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1982, as it was awarded posthumously. In my earlier lecture, I had also spoken about her early life, her parents, Otto and Aurelia, her mother. I had also mentioned that at the age of 8, she got her first poem published in Boston Herald's children's section, and that at the very same age she kept on writing and publishing in several local newspapers and magazines, and also received awards for that. She also lost her father at the very same age of being 8-year-old, and later on her mother moved to a different place, that is Wellesley, with her parents and kids, so that Sylvia could attend her high school and later the college for graduation. I had also talked about something about education and marriage, and also that she was an excellent student. She also became an editor for the college publication magazines, the Smith Review, and it was Darren Thomas whom she admired. She was to held a meeting with him, and that meeting was missed. That she was also diagnosed with clinical depression and was treated for it. Today I'll be talking about the remaining portion of her autobiography. Now, Sylvia Plath, as I said, had won the Glasscock Prize for her poems Two Lovers and a Beachcomber by the VIII-C. Now, it was in 1956 that she met Ted Huey, a fellow poet whose work Sylvia admired while both had been at the University of Cambridge. After a few months of courtship, in which they exchanged several poems, the couple got married in London in June 1956. Later on, both got deeply interested in astrology and related the supernatural concepts. Now, the couple moved to the United States in 1957, and Plath started teaching at the Smith's College. Now, being a professional, she could hardly devote time to writing, which frustrated her. So they moved to Boston, where she joined the Massachusetts General Hospital's psychiatric ward as a receptionist, and in the evening she attended some writing seminars which were hosted by the poet Robert Lowell. Now, it was here itself that she developed her own developed her own signature writing style. Now, Plath was greatly encouraged by Robert Lowell and Annie Sexton, who was her fellow poet, to use her personal experiences in writing. She was helped by the influence of Sexton, who wrote in highly personal confessional poetry style and peculiarly the female voice. Because of that influence, Sylvia started opening up more and more, and she even started talking about her depression and the suicide attempts, especially with Lowell and Sexton. Now, she turned and tuned herself into a thorough professional. Now, in 1959, Plath and Ted Huey, they embarked on a trip across the United States and Canada, where she found the most appropriate environment to nurture the creative pursuits without the interference of the outside world, and this turned her into more comfortable being especially about the weirder and the darker ideas that she was attracted to. Now, in 1959, this couple returned to England and settled there, where Sylvia gave birth to her daughter Frida in April 1960. She achieved a lot in the beginning of her career, and she had been shortlisted on several occasions by the Yale Younger Poets book competition, and her work had also been published in Harper's Magazine, The Spectator, and the Times Literary Supplement. And she also had a contract with the New Yorker, in inverted commas. Now, her first full collection, that is the Colossus and Other Poems, was also published in 1960, and this collection was first released in the United Kingdom, where it received immense praise, especially Plath's voice and her technical mastery of the imagery and wordplay. But in 1962, in the United States, it also had to face criticism of being too derivative. Now, that's all for the short autobiographical note about Sylvia Plath. I'll be talking about the remaining part in the next lecture of mine. Till then, goodbye and thank you, friends.